I am Dr. Sheikh Bashir. The topic today, which I am going to discuss with you, is forms and purpose of communication. Learning objectives. In this session, we will discuss about forms of communication, purpose of communication, facing interviews, elements of communication. Let's start with forms of communication. The first form is verbal. As you all know that communication is exchange of information from one individual to another individual through the medium of language, and that language is verbal or non-verbal. Verbal means transmitting or exchanging the message from one individual to another individual, from one person to another person, from one group to another group verbally. Another form of communication is non-verbal. Non-verbal communication means sharing knowledge, sharing information, sharing thoughts, sharing ideas through your body gestures, facial gestures, eye contact. And the third is written communication. Through this communication, you are writing to others through letters, through emails, or other mediums of social media. Moving ahead, purpose of communication. What is the purpose of communication? This is the most important thing. To inform, persuade, entertain, and investigate. The first and foremost important thing is the information. We inform one another through this medium, through the medium of language, which is communication. Another important thing is to persuade. It means that the information which is in our mind, we should be able to convince others. And third is entertain. And your words, your sentences, they should have appeal. The persons who are listening you, they should accept you and they should get some entertainment out of that. And third is investigate. Sometimes you need information from others. You need why, what, how, where, and that will boost your knowledge. The purpose of communication is to effect change in someone, that is to influence action in the overall interest of an enterprise. It enables us to understand and to make ourselves understood. So here it is the give and take process. The main intention of the sender of the message is that the person who is receiving that message, he should get some meaning out of that. Moving ahead, other purposes of communication. What are the other purposes of communication? First is public speaking, and second is facing interviews. Now, moving ahead, public speaking. What is public speaking? Public speaking is a way of making your ideas public, of sharing them with other people and influencing other people. Most of the people is having this fear to talk in front of the other people or to talk in front of public. That is called glossophobia. The audience needs to feel engaged and be able to understand what you are saying. Your gestures, your knowledge, confidence, connectivity with the audience, this matters a lot in your public speaking. Interviews. The word interview refers to one-on-one conversation between an interviewer and interviewee. A structured conversation where one participant asks question and other provides answer. The first impression you make on the interview, it can have lasting impact. Effective communication skills help you convey confidence and professionalism and enthusiasm, which can help you make a pleasant first impression. If you understand the questions clearly, you will be able to answer to the point exactly without any digression, without moving here and there. It all depends upon the knowledge which you have in your mind, but that knowledge needs a channel, which is the communication, to impress the others, to impress the interviewers, and that will help you a lot to get hired in that company. Now, there are various elements of communication. First is volume. While you are talking, you have to keep this thing in mind. If there is the huge population, your voice should be very high. You have to increase your volume. And if the people, there are very few in front of you, your voice, it should be according to that. Sometimes if you are yelling at them, that means the communication is of no use. Then another thing is the pause. Pause allows listeners to stay engaged and enables them to follow what comes next. So this pause helps the people to understand your sentence. So between the communication, the pause plays an important role. Pitch. Pitch refers to the frequency of your voice, which you can raise or lower for effect. And another thing is vocal variety. You can change the tune. Sometimes words demand citrus. Sometimes words, when you use, you have to keep your volume very low. So that means in some sentences, some words, they demand you that your pitch should be very high. Sometimes it should be very low. Suppose if I give you the example, silence please, be silent, shut up. So all these words have the same meaning. But when you speak silence please, it shows that you need to say it in politeness. But when you say shut up, there you have to citrus more on the words shut up. So this is way how your vocal variety will change while you are communicating, and this is the important element for communication. The next is pronunciation. Pronunciation plays an important role because if you know few words, but you should know them with exact pronunciation. And the last thing is that is gestures. The gesture is the half communication. What you are speaking it with your tongue, the body parts, the eye contact, the facial gestures, they help it to convey in better way. Now moving ahead, there are 6 ways to turn nervousness from negative force into the positive force. First is acquire speaking experience. How you will acquire this speaking experience? For this, you have to make a friend. And that friend should be able to speak better than you, because you will learn from him and he will learn from you. In this way, if you learn only 2 words every day, that means in a 1 month, you will learn 60 words. And if you collected them in the whole year, that means you will learn more than 500 words. So next thing is repetition. The words which you have learned today, you have to repeat them in your own language. You have to use them in your own sentence. In that way, you will never forget that way of speaking. Third is think positively. Take out all the negatives from your mind. Think that you are the best. So in that way, you are encouraging yourself. Next is use the power of visualization. You have to observe the other people very keenly, and according to the situation, you have to say the words, you have to use the proper and effective language. And next is do not expect perfection, because nobody is perfect. So why you are expecting perfection yourself? There are loopholes, they will remain there, but you must try to get rid of maximum loopholes. The last is know that most nervousness is not visible. So this is the important thing, that there are so many things which remains there and they are not visible to the others. Now the learning outcome from this discussion, what we learned today: forms of communication, purpose of communication, public speaking, facing interviews. So the last is elements of effective communication. So I hope that you have understood this very effectively. Thank you very much.